Now, what we're doing is we're taking the vehicle's fluid samples and we're comparing them to the new fluid. And as you can see, our transmission fluid is much darker than what we would like it to be.
Okay.
But I have another concern, and if you would, you notice there's a burnt smell to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's an indicator that it may be time to service the transmission.
Okay.
But of course, we'll check your history first.
Okay.
Okay, great. Follow me this way.
Thanks.
Rachel, after looking at your history, I can see that we've not performed that transmission service on your vehicle.
Well, it's a fairly new car.
Well, that's true. However, when it comes to transmission fluid, it doesn't have to be changed like your engine oil does. But it has protective additives that start to oxidize and break down due to heat, which is caused by friction. The general rule of thumb on the service intervals on this component is usually every 30,000 miles, unless you do excessive towing, which then we'd want to perform that even earlier. Now, just like your engine oil, the transmission fluid keeps the transmission cool. And the additives in the fluid keep the hundreds of valves, springs, and gears from gumming up and collecting a lot of varnish.
I never did that on my other car.
Well, in the past, we weren't really able to perform that. We used to do what we call drain and fills. But the problem with that is we only got a third of that fluid out. The rest of the fluid was stuck in the torque converter. But what we're doing today is a process where we can transfuse up to 98% of that fluid out of that
Wow.
component. And by performing the BG transmission service, there are three things that happens. First, we're going to be putting a cleaner in the system to loosen up that varnish, and then we'll be using a piece of equipment to transfuse that fluid out. The last part of that process, we'll be putting in a conditioner back in the fluid to beef up the fluid, but also to recondition those seals so that it makes them soft and keeps them from drying out or keeps them from leaking. Now, after the engine, the transmission is one of the most expensive components. That's why we want to make sure that your fluid doesn't break down.
Well, I had a friend who had to get a whole new transmission, and I know it was expensive, but I'm not sure that he had this service done. But you're not guaranteeing me that my transmission won't fail if I get this service done.
True, no one can guarantee that transmissions won't fail, but what I can tell you is you won't get stuck with a tab, because the BG transmission service comes with this lifetime protection plan. And here's what the plan is all about and all the information, and we can do that right along with all your other services today.
Well, that makes sense, and that's one less thing to worry about.
Well, that's what it's all about. I'll get going on that for you.
Thank you.